Technology is all around us. It is part of our everyday life, but it has not always been a part of most of our lives. So what was life before technology? This is a question that I've always asked myself in the past, long before this assignment, and I often found myself asking my grandparents or my parents this. So I kind of furthered my research and with my parents and interviewed what was their life before or what was life before what was life like before technology. So I interviewed my mom, which is Gwen Bazinski. She's in her she's around 40 years old. And then I interviewed my dad also, who's 50, in his 50s, around there. I don't ask them their age because it's kind of rude, I think. But and and uh, and that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about what their life was like before technology, what their life is what is like with technology, and and what their opinion is on it, and how it has impacted their lives today. First, I'm going to talk about my mom. My mom, like I said, is in her 40s, so she grew up in the 1970s sometime. She grew up here in Cedar Falls, where she graduated from Cedar Falls High School, and she had a really small family. She only had her mom, a sister who was younger, and a brother. When she was around 12, she already had to take care of her little siblings because her mom worked all the time, being a single parent. So she learned a lot of responsibilities. She remembers like when she was really young, just playing with dolls, playing outside, playing with her little siblings. She didn't have an Xbox to play with. She didn't, sit around on her phone when she got bored. Long car rides, they used to play like games like I Spy, or they just play the quiet game because her little siblings annoyed her. But when she was getting in her teens and got her driver's license, she found herself often just cruising around on University, smoking cigarettes, whatever. That was a cool thing to do back then. And she didn't have, if she wanted to go to a party, she had to actually ask people. The word would get passed on by a note. They'd pull up the note and put it on the desk like this, like don't let Dr. G see it or whatever. And they sometimes she'd cruise down University and find where all the cars were parked. They just hang out at the local deli or whatever. But there wasn't she couldn't pull out her phone, and there wasn't a text message waiting for her, a mass text saying, "Oh, the party's at this address or so and so's place," or what are you up to? What are you doing? She couldn't just whip it out and find out what everything was what was happening. But now her life is geared around technology. She's constantly on her phone. She recently just got on an online dating site, which I think is kind of weird, but she's met a lot of weird people on there, so it's whatever. But she also is a computer engineer. She programs. She deals a lot with programming. Now she works for IBM, so that's how she makes her living. She's constantly on her laptop. She can use her phone for internet. She can be driving down the road and all of a sudden she gets a work call. She just has to pull over and she can do all of her work from right there, which I think is weird to think about because growing up she didn't have any of this. But she found a fascination in this, so she's happy. But my dad, on the other hand, is a totally different story. I'm going to talk about my dad now. My dad is 10 years older than my mom. He's in his early 50s. He grew up in a small town, Fairbank, where I'm from. He graduated from there. He lived out in the country he had 10 siblings. A few of them passed away, and they lost a lot when they were young. It's a sore subject, so I didn't really ask exactly how many, because he also had a twin that passed away at a very young age, and that's a little touchy subject. Don't like to bring that kind of stuff up. But growing up, he would always play outside. He was climbing trees, getting in trouble, beating up his brothers, whatever. He was a middle child, so he had older brothers too. He'd pick on them. So, but when he got into his teens, about 12, he said he started working at a very young age. he quit all sports to work. He thought that working and making money was the most important thing. And so he didn't have anything to do with that. He made a lot of money just to get his first car, and he did very similar. He would, pass notes, whatever, go to parties sometimes, but he's mainly working. But to sum everything up, life is a lot different back in the day. Put that in quotes. And when our parents grew up, could you guys go a while without technology? I know I couldn't. I use it every day. Our lives are a lot different with technology and continue to change.